Hi, I'm Peter Blakeway and welcome to Taste from Our Land. We're here in Taupo. Isn't it gorgeous? We're here to see Jude Messenger from the Bistro. Yet again, we're going to be cooking up some marvels with him. I know he's got plans. I know he's going to take us to his secret places yet again. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see what flavours he's got to bring to the table. And come with me and we'll enjoy every moment. So, Jude, you bring me, every time we see each other, you bring me to some, last time we were down a hole picking watercress that I've been trying to find actually on this trip to see if I can find it again. But
Never again.
No, the blindfold really worked. And this time, you brought me up to meet Mike.
Batten?
Hey.
Mike,
Yeah.
this is fantastic. Where are we?
All right, we're on the western side of Lake Taupo, as the crow flies 20 k's from the township, by road about 55 k's.
Yeah.
We're 200 metres above the level of the lake here on the farm.
And it's all beef.
We're all beef, yeah. There are sheep and beef farmers in the catchment,
Yeah.
4 dairy farmers and about 90 sheep and beef farmers.
Yeah.
We thought we were doing the right thing by the lake. We've had every stream in the catchment fenced off and riparian planted.
Yeah.
But science showed that we needed to do more.
Yeah.
So we found that by growing animals in a way that minimises their impact on the lake, you actually improve the meat quality.
Yeah.
Essentially, we're growing animals to their required weight at a much faster rate.
Yeah.
So that means they're younger when they're killed.
Yeah.
Their meat is more tender. We've
Yeah.
got better marbling. So everyone from the farmer, the truckie, the
Yeah.
meat processor, through to
Yeah.
the chef, and then the diner is now looped really.
Yeah.
And I get
Yeah.
regular feedback. If I'm doing something
Yeah.
wrong, I soon find out.
Yeah.
Great.
And it's local. And that's the big thing of all. The biggest thing of all is it's local. It's all here. It's local food, local people, local restaurants.
That's right.
And that flavour, what we learn with our food is it takes on the flavour of the environment that it's in. In
A
some
bit like
bizarre
wine.
way. Yeah, it's a bit like wine. It's a bit like wine. If you
It might be a
try-
bit pretentious to take it that far, but I do think that there is what animals eat is reflected in the meat quality and the meat flavour.
Absolutely, and to be able to come up to the farm and, I'm pointing over the top of the camera because the lake's over there. It's slightly in the fog at we're up here in the early morning, but oh man, it's gorgeous. It is just so gorgeous. Mike, thank you so much.
Cheers.
I can't wait to get out on the paddock.
Go and have a look
You've
at the
got
animals,
important work
and
to
then
do.
go and see Jude
Yeah.
and eat it.
And we're gonna cook and eat and do all of that stuff later on. But we'll be right back after this break. I love the idea, Jude, that we see the animal from the paddock all the way through. And thank you so much for bringing me to meet Jake. Jake, welcome to Taste from Our Land.
Thank you.
This is just what a cool idea to be able to to come in and actually see we've met Mike on the farm, we've seen those beasties running past us, and getting people back into this idea of understanding that where the food comes from and how much effort's gone in from the skills of the farmer to the skills in the butchery and the abattoir and actually looking after the animal in a way that, to be honest, the animal deserves, eh?
Absolutely.
And then eventually it gets to Jude and it gets to the restaurant, it gets to the people, where it's all about that flavour. It's all about
the finished product.
yeah, it's the flavour, it's the texture. It's for you, Jake. It must be great to think that you know which paddock that's been on.
Oh, definitely. The best thing about this beef, but and from the guys that are the abattoir that kills it for us as well, he wants to keep this beef. This is the best beef he's got going through his abattoir.
Yep. So I need some, Jake. We're cooking a barbie today.
Oh, good one. Should we go out into the shop and have a look at some steaks out there?
Let's do that. Cheers, Jakey. Nice to see you, bud.
Cool.
Taupo Beef. There's an ad in itself.
Jude, you bring me to some places. One minute you're bringing me to a hole in the ground that I can't find again.
That's good. There's a reason for that.
Mate, I'm going to find this again.
Absolutely.
I'm going to find this and bring the family. When you look along the beach, my only question is, do you always come here by seaplane?
Not normally.
And is your barbecue always here?
Today was fortunate, we managed to set it up, but this is one of our favourite beach spots, and I love to bring the kids down. It's actually really safe, the water's close, there's lots of beach for them to run up and down, we can see them. It's easy access.
I've just tried the water though,
it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's real cold. I might not swim, but no, it's fantastic. So,
all right.
This just looks too much fun. What are we playing with?
Okay, so barbecue on the beach, Taupo Beef. What I really wanted to do today was a really simple, easy to pull off barbecue template. And so it's a few really little quick recipes that anyone can do, and it's really easy to do when you see how. That just makes your barbecue into something a little bit special.
It is that thing, isn't it? As cooks, we always have plans.
That's right.
And even something that's a family barbecue or friends or whatever, Christmas holidays, you get everyone round to the batch, whatever. It's having the plan.
That's right.
So that you know when to put everything on, when everything's going to be cooked, and so you can enjoy. I'm pausing there because I've already noticed that you brought a couple of beers with you. And what's a barbecue without a good beer? So I'll find those again in a minute. Let's get cooking. So Jude, lead me in. What's your template?
First, we're going to start with the peppers. They take the longest. Firstly, we need to char the skin, and that separates it from the flesh. And we'll stick it into a container so that it's airtight, it steams up, pulls off, easy to remove it, and when it cools down, we'll be able to take the seeds and the skin off. So we'll get that going first.
You could do that with plastic wrap, with a plastic bag.
Yep,
with,
absolutely.
Whatever. All you're doing is creating that steam from the inside.
Just steam, that's it.
Basically blows the skin out.
It does.
Yeah.
So we're just going to season just a neutral oil at this point, salt and pepper, and we're going to give the peppers a toss through that. As anything that is being added to heat, you need that medium, which is the oil, to help distribute the heat and to give it a good coating, so that as the oil heats up, it actually contributes to the cooking of it.
And a simple neutral oil that will take the heat.
Yep.
Doesn't really matter what it is.
So they're just going to on. We're going to turn them around as we go. So that's your job to remember them.
All right. I love a job where if it burns, it's actually what was supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's right. This is a good one for that. So we'll drop the lid down. It's getting close to 150 degrees now.
Yep.
So it's going to gently take the char and take the skin up, but it's also going to cook the peppers through as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Taupo beef. It was stunning to see that carcass, wasn't it? On the hook there, dry aging, great colour. It really is nice to see the product at that from start to finish.
Jude, it's the way it's supposed to be. Jude and I have been driving around today, picking up various bits and pieces for this and visiting the butchers and all the rest. We've been talking about it the whole time, eh?
Yes.
It's all about getting the care and attention and the passion into the food, actually from the farm.
At every stage of its production.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cut it a wee bit different today from how it normally is, because I actually like all of the sinew and fat to be taken off.
Yeah.
And give you a cut of meat which is just beautiful flesh. I mean, the fat's really tasty and it cooks well, but there's always that really hard sinew underneath, which is not edible. And it's all very well to have the nice fat to eat, but you've also got that uneatable sinew under there. And I actually prefer to have the whole cut edible.
So in effect, you're getting almost the fillet effect.
Absolutely, and it has the appearance as well, which I actually quite like. So once we get this cap off, we've got the two side chains, which are the connective tissue for the bones, and then we've just got a really clean piece of stunning Taupo beef sirloin that we can cut our portions from.
You could get your butcher to do this. They'd do this for you, wouldn't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But then what would I do?
I'm thinking of the viewers though. If they, planning for the big party at the beach, they could get the butcher to prep this up for them.
Absolutely. Most people wouldn't do this at home, but this is a great demonstration of the start to finish of that cow that we saw earlier this morning.
Yeah.
All right, so this actually comes off, and there's another layer of sinew underneath it, and you'll see this little cushion that it's actually a really lovely little cut.
You can almost see the fibre direction working there, and in fact you can see the fibre direction working there. If I hold it up to the camera to close right in on that, you can see the fibre direction working through that, which will be slightly different to the meat that was underneath it. And Jude, it just takes, it shows the real respect for the meat, respect for the animal.
That's right.
To actually break the muscles down like that.
And we want to get the best out of every single part. And so to do that, we need to treat them accordingly. And that means that we cook it or cut it in such a way that we're going to get the best result.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got it to this point. There's actually a good line of sinew that runs right through the middle of this muscle. There's a couple of points where it can be quite tough, so I prefer to take those out. And I just run my knife down, and because they're so hard, these little stretches of sinew, it will just fill it out quite easily, really. And these are those little bits that's, they, in a beautiful mouthful of beef, you'll just get one of these little chewy bits if they're not taken out, And to me, it's just that little detail that I like to pay attention to the whole experience. And as much as, I mean, there's nothing wrong with eating sinew, you know, you pull it out of your mouth and you put it aside. But within the restaurant industry, people are fussy about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they can be, you know.
Yeah.
And when you go into a restaurant, you're paying for dinner, you want every single mouthful to be memorable, you want it to be as good as it can be, and you don't want to be fishing chewy bits of sinew out of your mouth. And so I don't mind taking them out. And this is the last one right here, which actually separates this end cut. And so you'll start to see the shape of the sirloin here, and you'll see where I get my medium wells, well dones, and mediums from this end of the sirloin, and my rares and blues from this top end.
Yep.
This is, you can see even by touching it, you can see that it's a lot softer, but it's also thicker, so you've got more time to cook it.
Yep.
And the well done at the end, it's thinner, so it cooks quicker, so it's in time. It cooks in time. The whole table doesn't have to wait. So I just take it right down that middle line there, and we've got two very different looking pieces of sirloin, because this is not how it's normally cut. I also like to keep what is this yellow fat on. It's not sinew, and that will break down, and that'll contribute to the experience. It's great flavour, but we're going to cut our steak straight off this. I reckon we actually take more than just a single steak. We'll cut what I prefer to technically call a chunk.
Yep. A chunk works for me.
Yeah, chunk's good. We'll cut a couple of these chunks here. How's those peppers?
Oh, they're getting there.
Oh, good.
They're getting there.
Okay, so what we're going to do with the rest, we've got these yellow onions. We're going to peel those down, and we're going to just marinate them in salt, pepper and oil, and we're going to grill them in nice onion steaks.
Yep.
So they'll become really tender. We're going to take the red onion, slice it up super thin, and we're going to pickle those. The tomatoes will be a simple tomato salad with cucumber, grana padano, parmesan cheese, basil, sherry vinegar, and I want to use some of the chili or the horupito avocado oil for that. We're going to grill some zucchinis, and as the cucumbers will be in with the tomato. So if you start on those onions, I'll start on these ones. So what I've got over here is a pot with equal parts sugar and white wine vinegar, and 2 parts water. So it's half a cup of sugar, half a cup of vinegar, and 1 cup of water. We bring that up to the boil. I'm just going to put that onto the heat down here. With our thinly sliced onions, we just need to pour that over, and it's going to pickle them, and in the time that it takes for them to cool down, we've got beautifully pickled onions.
That's a very fast pickle. That's very much more of the sort of the Asian pickle, isn't it? Rather than the European classic sort of 8-week, 10-week.
Exactly. And this is why we cut them so thin, so that we get an instant result. You can flavour them and season them also with whatever you like. Take the end off here.
Let's check these peppers.
You can start to smell them now, can't you?
Yeah.
There you go. And we're just going to slice them nice and thin. Take the end out. And this actually, 2 onions like this actually gives you quite a lot. All right, so we've got our thin slices. We've got some nice hot pickling liquor here. I'm just going to pour that over. And we can just leave that. I might even have some plastic wrap hidden down here underneath my barbecue. There we go.
So I'm just lightly oiling these.
Yep.
Just to...
just a quick coating to help with the cooking.
No worries. And which part of the barbecue do you want these on?
I will get them onto the flat.
Yep.
I'll give a little bit of extra oil here. So I've got it quite hot here, so if we get to the cooler side, they'll just gently caramelise away, develop some lovely sweetness.
And just straight onto the...
Yep, there you go. Perfect. Look at that, there we go. Okay, next we're going to get some grilling on those zucchini.
Yep.
So we can take exactly the same philosophy with them as we did for the onions. We're getting pretty close on these peppers, so I think if my timing's correct, we might be pretty close on getting our beef on as well.
Yep.
I'll just get these tomatoes.
So your courgette, zucchini, you want rings, you want...
Long, I actually like the ends cut off mine. I just take them on long steaks.
All right.
But you can cut them however you like. So for the tomato salad, I'm going to drop some sherry vinegar into the base here, and I'm going to layer this the whole way along with the vinegar and a little olive oil.
Isn't this what cooking's supposed to be?
Beef steak tomato, absolutely.
We're out here, we're on the side of the lake, we've got 2 ducks.
The water's
Camera,
right
see
there.
The ducks over my shoulder here. We've got the 2 ducks that keep coming up. I think they can smell the onions. And that's the noise.
Salt and pepper.
So I can hear a plane coming.
Isn't it amazing just hearing the lake coming up on the shore there?
Oh, it's fantastic.
These are the beef steak tomato, and I just love beef steaks. They're a really meaty tomato. They have a dense flesh. They have probably less seeds than most tomatoes, but I actually like to cut a decent little steak out of these, and we just lay them as we go, season them as we go, and build ourselves a little tomato salad. These peppers are really close now. So we've seasoned the base.
We need a way of emailing the smells to you.
That was our invention from last time, wasn't
smelly vision. We need smelly vision. All the recipes you'll find on Facebook. Go to Taste From Our Land on Facebook, and all the recipes will be there. And please help yourself, enjoy every one of them, and you know, print them off, make them your family favourites. It's the smell, though, that's coming off those peppers now, that roasted pepper thing going on, and the caramelisation. The onions are starting to kick in with an aroma now.
And they're smelling really good.
Oh,
It makes me want to go grab some sausages as well.
our ducks are getting closer, so...
They're interested. All right, the sherry again. And the oil. And I just layer this as I go. I'm going to introduce some cucumbers as well in a second. I actually like to peel my cucumbers. The skin can get a little tough, and I take the seeds out also. You don't need to, you don't even have to take the skin off if you don't want to, but that's just the way that I like to do it.
The skin can be a little bit tough, but also a little bit bitter.
It can, absolutely. Same with the seeds.
Yeah.
Mind you, the seeds, I actually like to take the, once I've taken the seeds out, just add salt and pepper straight to those, and they're fantastic to eat. So to get these seeds out, we just run down the center with a teaspoon, and it will scoop them out.
Much the same as cleaning, you know, it's all part of the same family, I guess, cleaning out a melon.
That's right. Yeah, very similar. So we're just going to slice them up, and once again for this type of salad, I don't like to cut them too thin, because you actually want to get the texture out of it, you want to have to chew it, and you want a cucumber that you're going to be able to identify as a cucumber. Probably enough what we need for here. I've got some grana padano down there if you want to reach into our poly bin. And we'll shave some of that.
Well, that's a hunk of cheese. This is grana padano.
It is indeed.
Grana padano.
There you go.
Grana padano is one of those cheeses. It actually comes from kind of the next valley on from Parmigiano Reggiano. It's only 50-60 kilometers down the road, but they're not allowed, in Italy they're not allowed to call it Parmigiano. it's grana padano, and being Italians, they don't mess with that.
They have their rules and they stick to them.
Yeah, they don't bother messing with it. This is, you know, their cheese.
Fresh basil. There's also an aging process in the difference as well.
Yeah.
And Parmigiano Reggiano is aged for quite a bit longer than what grana padano is. Look at that, fresh basil, cucumber, pepper, salt, sherry vinegar and olive oil. We throw on the grana and you've got yourself a pretty mean little salad. And we just keep on layering this, vinegar and oil as we go.
Don't forget the taste test.
Of course, this is lovely, isn't it? It's one of my favourite cheeses.
Slightly salty, isn't it?
It is. And I love that little touch of granular texture that you get.
Yeah. And grana padano tends to be a little bit cheaper.
It is than the Parmigiano Reggiano. That's right. There we go. Bit of cheese on there.
There we go. I happen to have left some on my board.
Oh, you're gonna have to eat that. Some more basil. All right, let's stick that aside. So peppers are ready to come off.
Yep.
They can go into our container. Nearly ready to get our beef on now. A lid.
So we just let them steam
That's
for the
right.
time it takes to cook the...
Exactly. And they'll just sit there quite happily. We'll bring up our avocados, you can have those. Got some potatoes. We're not going to mess around with this. It doesn't need to be marinated. You can if you like, but I just prefer not to. All it needs is seasoning and the flavour of the beef.
So, what are we drinking, Jude?
This is Stoke Lager. I have it on tap at the restaurant, and it really is a great micro brewery style craft beer. What I love about it is that it has that genuine malty hopsy flavour of a craft beer, but it also it's a nice refreshing lager as well. So for the mainstream drinker, it's quite a nice craft beer to drink.
I used to teach one of the rugby players for the Bay of Plenty Steamers, Nick McCashin, and
oh yeah,
he always claims it's his family. I'm not 100% sure whether it is or not, and so Nick, if you're watching this, which might be hard, I know you're in Edinburgh and I know you've just imported McCashin to Edinburgh, so
they have,
maybe you are part of the family.
Absolutely.
But, if so, here's to you.
And you know, the great thing about cooking with a beer is that you learn how to barbecue with one hand. And that's an important part of barbecuing. There we go.
So you're putting those on as whole lumps?
Yep, we're just going to cook them through as they are. And the great thing about that is that it cooks a bit slower.
Yep.
It cooks it through at a less of a rate, and you can actually slice nice medallions off it.
Yep.
And that's great.
You can also control the quantity that's being eaten.
Yes.
As opposed to just endless steaks going on.
People just coming in and grabbing a steak. All right, so the peppers are going to be cooling down. So for the potatoes, if you want to slice those up, you know what I love for my potato salad? Tartare sauce.
Oh, right.
It is the ultimate.
Peppers,
it's got everything that you would have in a potato salad, and it's tartare sauce, so why not? I love it. And I will do the quick little guacamole. In there we've got some chives that you can use. I'm going to use some parsley in my guacamole, and I've got a great little instrument for doing my guacamole. It's called a drum, and I'm just going to pass my avocado through the drum sieve.
Oh right, yeah.
I'm going to mix it up in a bowl with some parsley, with some salt, some pepper, some lemon juice, and just a touch of olive oil. A little bit of heat there. Our onions are ticking along, and you can feel them, they're starting to get nice and tender now. The peppers are getting some colour, the zucchini getting some colours on them. And I'm getting into the avocado.
So you just want these slicing, dicing?
For the potatoes, I normally just cut mine into quarters.
Yep.
I keep the skin on because it's healthy that way.
Yep.
I like the flavour of the skin also, and it contributes to keeping the potatoes together as well, so they stay nice and firm. Isn't it funny how on every single barbecue I've ever cooked on, it seems that parts of it prefer not to colour things, and other parts of it love to colour things really quickly.
It's something, and Jude, this is where I'm going to talk to the camera again, because it's something that I feel really passionate about. Barbecuing is one of the most aggressive forms of cooking.
It is, that's right.
Like anything that's the most aggressive form of whatever activity we're talking about, barbecuing takes the most skill. And yet, you know, the average Kiwi barbecue, who does it? You know, who does the barbecue? It's the person that has the least amount of kitchen time.
Yeah, that's
now,
right.
I was going to say men, but we're two blokes here standing at a beach barbecuing, so that one really doesn't work. But the people that have the least knowledge of how kitchens and heat works tend to be the ones that do the most aggressive form of cooking.
That's right.
And, you know, we need to change that. We need to change that and make life more sensible.
Yeah, I believe you. I agree. You know, funny, I think it's the same for every chef, is whenever you go to a barbecue, you always seem to be the one that is over the barbecue cooking.
Yep.
And I've been thinking about this, it's been my entire career. And at first I thought, well, why do I always have to do it? But then, having been to enough barbecues, I thought, well, the reason I do it is because I want the barbecue to be a decent quality barbecue.
Yeah.
So, why not cook it? It makes sense.
I've got to say, I'm blessed with amazing friends who understand that I'm a control freak and I like taking over. So, you know, they're wonderful.
All right, so we're just going to press our avocado through using the back of a spoon. It's pretty easy, really. It's nice and soft. Most people don't have one of these at home, but if you have a sieve,
you can push it through a sieve just the same way, can't you?
It works just as well.
Yeah.
And there we go. Nice smooth guacamole. So we're going to do a very simple seasoning for this. Once again, I like to keep things as they are. You know, allow the ingredient to represent itself. And if that means that you just add salt and pepper, well, so be it. That's all it needs.
I don't remember whether you told me to do this and this, but I can't resist.
Oh, go for it.
A touch of lemon.
I'm going to use it in mine too. So a touch of the avocado, it's a hurupito, and a touch of the olive oil. Got to be careful on how much oil you add to this because it is quite a fatty vegetable or fruit, and it doesn't need a lot. But I add it for the flavour.
For me, lemon zest is almost like the third season.
Absolutely.
And we don't use it enough.
Okay. So into this, we've got our salt, we've got our pepper, we've got our oil. We just need a little parsley. That salad looks lovely. Why don't you put that onto a plate?
Yep.
A little bit of parsley is all that I'm going to add to this. You could use coriander. Coriander's nice with the avocado, but for the dishes that we're doing today, it's more of a parsley type of a feel. It's only a sprinkling. Like you said with the lemon zest, herbs to a dish, it's the same for me. It's that other element, that seasoning.
There is so much more to seasoning the food than just, you know, a processed salt and pepper.
Exactly,
you know,
there is.
Grinding fresh, using flaky salt.
Yep.
And I'll get rid of the bumblebee.
It's been around, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's been very interested.
It was a bumblebee, not a honeybee, so we can be less gentle. If you see a honeybee in your garden, please, please, please look after them.
Absolutely. They are, you know, you're hearing on the news around the world that people are finding less bumblebees, less honeybees.
Yep.
And that's a pretty scary thought because they are quite a major contributor to the fresh produce that we get.
Oh, exactly. Yep.
Alright, so we've got our guacamole here. we've got our pickled onions. Have a try of these.
So this is that really quick, light pickle.
That's right, and it's one that you can just do at home. It doesn't take a lot of work. It's very quick. You can do enough just for the barbecue, and they're so lovely. They're sweet, they're sour. The kids will love them.
It's the sugar's taken away all the bitterness from the onion,
That's right.
but left the onion, the
Indeed.
sharpness of the onion.
It's lovely, isn't it? All right. Peppers.
Sort of reminds me of
zucchinis.
the Asian pickled ginger.
That's right.
It obviously doesn't have the gingery flavour, but it's got that same lightness
Garlic.
to it.
It does. And it's a great condiment. And I actually really love to have that sweet and sour element in a lot of the cooking that I do. And we'll just finish that seasoning again. So I mean, this is very, very simple. This is simply grilled zucchini.
Yep.
It's got some garlic avocado oil on there, which is really lovely. And they're doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
They're cooked, they're grilled, they've got that carbon flavour, you know, and as a condiment, you know, we don't have to create a massive dish out of it. Oh, I've just touched your bear.
You see me twitch.
We don't have to do a lot to it. All we're doing is letting it speak for itself. So what have we got left? The peppers.
Peppers, the onions, and the beef.
That's it. So how about we stick the onions on with the zooks, and have a look at these. Just feel how tender they are.
Oh gosh, they're just breaking apart.
That's right. And once, just like the zucchini, you know, that carbon on there and that caramelization is really quite tasty. Especially when you've got to complement it, you've got something like the pickled onions.
Yep.
They always have that sweetness in them.
Yeah.
Now you've got a rich, creamy avocado. You've got the acidity and the sharpness and the saltiness of the potato salad.
The capers that are coming through.
The capers, exactly.
Yeah.
And I call it my barbecue template because this is what I do for all of our barbecues for the kids.
So
and
this is what you do with every barbecue. So, guys, when you're passing through Taupo, it's really easy, isn't it? You just ring the bistro and say, Jude, hey, how about you take the night off?
I'm on my way over.
I'm on the way, take the night off. We've set the barbecue up somewhere really cool, yeah? But you've got to beat this cool. It's got to be more cool than this, and I don't think you'll find it.
Yeah, the beach is a pretty good setting. And I mean, I say it again, the sound of the waves behind us, it's just unbelievable. All right, so peel one each, eh?
Go for it. I'll go in first and see if I can get the easy one.
The one that's not so hot. Okay, so for these, with our marinade, for anyone doing this at home, firstly they're a little bit hot, so we're gonna have to use our chef hands. But it's a good idea to just take that core out first and get rid of as many of the leaves as you can. Sorry, the seeds. And get rid of them before your hands get too wet because they'll stick to them. And then we just peel the skin off the outside. Right, our beef's getting close and we're just about ready. All right, so we're just going to slice these up and we're going to marinate them with more of the lemon juice. We're going to have salt, pepper, some oil and some of our fresh herbs, and that's all it needs. Once again, I try not to cut these too thin because I love the texture, and
they're quite fragile at the moment as well. They're being still warm, they're quite fragile to breaking apart.
That's right.
And so it is quite important just to be gentle, and you don't want to mush them.
No, that's right. We don't want.
I guess is what we're getting to.
We don't want red pepper puree.
No. Although a red pepper puree made that way is absolutely gorgeous.
It is really good.
Gorgeous, but not for today.
That's right. When you want red pepper puree, it's a good way of doing it. All right, so zest, garlic.
Yep.
And so we just want them nice thin slices,
Use a lot of
rounds.
crushed garlic.
For this I actually use a thin slice round, and with the lemon,
Yep.
it contributes to it cooking with the acid, and it's a great marinade. Fresh herbs, got parsley here. Not as fine as what I did for the guac. Some chives.
Jude, I know you asked for a fresh round, but I have a thing about the cores.
The stamen.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's called, what is it called? There's another name for it, the core.
That core that comes out of your garlic is bitter, and you can never get rid of the bitterness. It's fibrous and bitter.
That's
and,
right.
You know, for me,
Especially when it's green.
yeah, for me, these ones wouldn't be too bad. So the very young garlic, you're okay, but the older the garlic, the more you've got to take those out. They're just, it's a fibre and bitterness. You can see the fibre in there that won't go away. You can't cut it out. It's just annoying. And
That's right.
It's one of those fibres that gets in your teeth.
And I'm so glad that you've done that, because I absolutely agree with you. All right, so for this, you want hortepito or garlic? I'm going to use this and olive oil.
Yep. The hortepito one is stunning. It has a pepperiness that
Yeah,
it's sort of, for me, it flavour enhances.
absolutely. It is lovely.
Yeah.
And I actually like the grassy, smooth creaminess of the avocado oil. It is actually a great complement to a nice, peppery, slightly bitter olive oil.
Straight in with your...
Yep, in we go. Quick mix. Salt. You get that heat too, that's great. All right, onto our plate. You can see it becoming what you can justifiably call a template, don't you?
Yep, it's all coming together now. It's all coming together.
All right, we're nearly there. So really it's just our beef, quick sip.
Good health.
Nice. Peppers, potato salad, onions, zucchini, tomato salad, guacamole, pickled red onions, and a chunk of beef. Sounds good, right?
Doesn't get any better. Now, unfortunately, this is being recorded, so when it screens, you can't just identify the beach and run down here. Although, it's kind of looking good enough that we might still be there. So you know, if you can work out where the beach is, exactly where the beach is,
Head down.
stick it on Facebook, okay? And I haven't actually run this past Jude yet, but tell you what, I'll do it. If you can identify what beach it is, and the first person to put it on Facebook, I'll come and I'll cook a barbecue here again.
All right.
Join me?
All right, I'll do it.
We'll come and we'll cook a barbecue for the first person that recognises this beach, because I don't think we've said it.
No, we haven't.
Check Facebook.
That's good. We're gonna have to shake on that. It's a good idea. All right, so we're very close. This, and you know, the amazing thing about this Taupo beef is that it cooks very soft. So a medium rare of this, it feels like a rare of many other cuts of beef. All it needs when it's resting is just for that core temperature to drop a touch, so that it's not just going to gush out when we cut it.
The resting thing means that the whole lot evens in temperature.
That's right.
The outside
it spreads to the surface.
The outside is very hot, and that will cool down slightly. The inside it'll just even out.
That's right.
And you know when a steak is cooked perfectly. When you get that lines of grey and red and then grey again on a steak, it means it's been rushed. What you should be getting is the pinkness of the meat
even
running
spread.
Yeah, and running almost to the very edge. The
That's
closer
right.
to the edge you get it, then the better the resting time has been and the better the cooking has been.
Exactly.
You know, when you get those banding, it's not good. It's not good.
You can actually see those lines that you were talking about. So we're going to be cutting across those
Yep.
lines. When I cook these in the restaurant, I actually portion them across those lines and I'll cook them that way.
Yes.
So that when I cook it, then flip it, the slicing around the middle, you're slicing a part of the beef that hasn't actually touched direct heat.
Yeah.
And so you always get an even spread
Yeah.
of the pink right to the
Yeah.
rim, simply because you've cooked the top and the bottom.
Top and bottom,
and not the sides.
Not the sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still feels a little bit warm, we just need to let that cool off a touch.
Yep. It is important, if I can get the camera to look right in on the meat, it is important before you start carving to just look at where the fibres, the direction the fibres are going, and then, you know, as Jude's going to do, he'll make a decision depending on that line as to what angle he's going to cut.
That's
and
right.
that's really important piece of getting, you know, giving maximum benefit to the beef that you've, you know, spent so much time and effort
Exactly.
finding, and, you know, these wonderful farmers that spend so much time and effort, and the butchers that have hung it and all the rest. All of
Everyone's
these
put-
choices have to be for a reason.
That's right, and everyone's put so much work into it.
Yeah.
And it's at this vital point here
Yeah,
where all of that work can be completely undone.
yeah, yeah. But we won't stuff it up. We won't stuff it up. We'll be fine.
It feels nice. So the great thing about cooking your beef in a decent sized chunk like this is that you can actually have a pleasing steak for everybody. Those that want the mediums and the more well done, you give them the end cuts. And as you get closer to the centre, it becomes from medium to medium rare to rare. And that way you've got everyone at the dinner party or the barbecue happy with what they get.
Well, so yeah, it's really important that we don't, you know, let people think that that's for one person.
Well, it could be, but
Much
not
as,
today.
You know, but the reality is that, you know, as human beings, we shouldn't eat that much protein.
Exactly, you're right.
We
That's
really
right.
shouldn't. You know, this, yeah. But the meat protein, we really need to be, you know, if we cut down the size of the meat protein that we ate from the 300, 400, 500 gram
Yeah.
sizes that we're trying to eat, cut it back to 200 gram.
Yep.
We'd be healthier, but also we'd be able to afford to buy the better quality
Exactly,
meat, because
because-
you're buying it in a sensible
And less
size.
quantity of it,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sensible size, so you'll be able to spend your saving on buying a better quality.
Exactly, that's right. So we're going to go the unveiling of our end cuts.
Oh, look at
A nice medium steak right there.
Getting the camera in, that's exactly what we're looking for. You see that there's an even colour running across the face of the beef. What we don't want is for this to be, you know, raw,
That's right.
and then dark, sort of a grey darkness
On the
over
outside.
here. If you get that, then it's not been rested long enough, and also it's been cooked too aggressively.
Exactly. Too high a heat.
Yep.
And for this, you know, we've got a beautiful medium cut there and another one on the outside. And our 3 medium rares, and the same on this. Our end cut. This is
Again,
looking pretty.
it's going against the grain, so you can see that the fibre grain is going that way. And so what you're doing is you're shortening the fibre length
Exactly.
for the piece of meat. When you put it in your mouth, it'll feel more supple, more soft.
It's a tender cut.
Gorgeous.
And that is how we cook a chunk of steak on the barbecue. Salt, just to finish it, a little bit of pepper, and there is nothing else that I will ever add to my steak once it's been cooked, other than my teeth.
So, this is lunch. I've had an absolute blast cooking your barbecue.
Excellent.
And for the viewers, go to Facebook. First person that identifies exactly where we are, really exactly where we are, then you know what? We'll come out, we'll cook. And I'm trying to think what I'll do actually.
You're cooking.
I'm cooking.
It was your idea.
I'll do fish on the barbecue, and you'll do beef.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Taupo
And
beef, of
between
course.
us, and between us, we'll... Good health. Cheers.
Cheers.
Have a great summer. Enjoy your barbecue.
Thank you, my
Dude,
friend.
thank you so much. As always, a pleasure cooking with you. I'm just going to take one moment and look back out at this. The camera can see the snow on the mountain. That was deliberately designed for today, wasn't it, Jude?
Absolutely.
You arranged that.
A brush.
This has been the perfect way of setting up a barbecue by the lake or on the beach, by the, you name it, the perfect spot. It's been an absolute blast. Thank you so much. It's been just a blast cooking with you again. I'm Peter Blakeway, and this has been Taste from Our Land. We'll see you next time.